Hey, good evening, LinkedIn. Dave Wilson, Results Staff. Hey, short show, short show about staffing problems. I just want to go over some things that happened during the week and that I've noticed today. It's really interesting. So be right back after this. All right, happy Saturday night. You can tell who's just excited to be sitting here doing a video on Saturday night, why people are not working. But trust me, there's a majority of people out there that work weekends right now. So like I've told everybody before, you need to keep your presence going. Results staffing, results staffing, results staffing. So you get the idea that you should be posting all weekend and doing videos, talking to your staff. But we'll get into that. And you know, today, hey, Steve, there he is all the way from Utah, Stephen Farrell. And I'm great. I'm thankful that you signed on right now, Steve. I wanted to tell you something. So today I was looking online and I researched a lot of the logistics centers around us. And then I kept seeing on social media, there was two more, Nike, and there was one in Phillipsburg that's going to be a 1.4 million square foot warehouse. And there he is. See, that's a good subject, Steve, because I'm going to be talking about what you did. So when I noticed that Phillipsburg is going to have another one opening up very soon, right, Steve? And that's like another 500 jobs. Nike's another 400 jobs. There's six more opening up before the summer's over. 6 more logistics centers. Listen, there's over 8,000 jobs within 45-minute radius of our office. Right. And you have like 700 to 800 to pull from. And like Steve, the reason he's in Utah, they did a job there today on Saturdays and they're working the whole weekend because you must have been reading my mind, Steve. And when I get back to like, what the hell are you going to do? What? I've come to the conclusion now sometimes, I'm serious, man, because listen, I really look at the insights of social media. And you can really tell if you give me an area, it's pretty accurate, you know, a little bit off here and there, but also between the supply and demand report, you can't make it up. So what are you going to do? I keep saying, I think I'm turning it around now to where you better save and concentrate on the employees that you have or the candidates, because if you lose them, they're gone. Now it's going to take you a while to fill them back up. But think about that many jobs. I still say, Steve, I do not understand. I mean, these logistics centers were planning on being built years ago, probably, but there's nobody to work. We went out to Texas Roadhouse tonight for dinner. The third time that we only gone out. I know Steve out in the cow field, but we ate a cow today. But we got in there. There he is. Hey, Chris. And Chris is right. And that's what I've come back with. I just said that, Chris, about you need to hold on to them now, you know, because they leave. Again, you're screwed in a way, because now, especially like where Chris works, you know, I'm going to say Nestle Waters because I got to get used to the new names, Chris, and I forgot what it is right now, but they're huge and they hire directly. They have a great shift over in Brenningsville, every other weekend off. They pay very well, right? They don't need to talk about, well, they still talk about their company, but other companies that don't say nothing, I only know Nestle Waters in that area right there, DSC and a couple other companies, because they stand out in that location. But what's going to be the problem now with Phillipsburg, with them opening up in Phillipsburg, Easton, Nazareth, Albertus? Think of that. So people that have gone to Allentown, right, from Phillipsburg, they're going to stay in Phillipsburg now. They don't need to go. Oh, Blue Triton. Oh, there we go. Blue Triton Brands. That's right. Nestle Waters was changed over the name to Blue Triton Brands. That's going to take a while to get used to. I'm always used to saying Nestle Waters, but there you go, everybody. It's called Blue Triton Brands. So back to, like, say with Chris right there, he's the head recruiter there, is they pay very well. Their culture is very well. Their ads are tremendous. And I'm not making your head swell there, Chris, but your ads are awesome. It shows so much professionalism in their ad that they put time into social media ads. They don't just put out there, hey, come on down, $10 an hour, 16, start tomorrow. I know I say that all the time, but you got to put some more effort into it, because companies here, listen, if I was to say again, I've told people over and over, yes, and yes, we got to do it. I agree. Let's do it next week. But if I was to say, and the reason I like when Chris comes on is because with the power of social media, right? Now, this is where he works in Brenningsville. Now, I have this streamlining to all their companies. So if I said right now, hey, everybody, it's Dave Wilson, Results Staff down here over at, got to use this, Blue Triton Brands, formerly Nestle Waters, I'll say that. Forklift drivers, $22, $23 an hour, every other weekend off, 12-hour shifts, very family orientated. The hourly rate is very high. Benefits, why wouldn't you come down? So if you're working down the street where you're making only $14 an hour for forklift driver and you're really good, why don't you come over here to Blue Triton Brands, right? So that's what I'm talking about, getting that message out, because Brenningsville it's in a good area there. I mean, you got Allentown that'll go there, so you're going to have to really hit Allentown. As you go out to like Albertus and PA and all that, that's just tough. But when I say $23 an hour, think of that. And then maintenance mechanics, they even pay more for in that area. So again, the power of social media, of just doing what I'm doing tonight. The views might not be as high tonight, but if 10 people see it, that's all that matters to me. 15 people, go email Chris Heckman right over at Nestle Waters, called now Blue Triton Brands. I'm getting a good some advertising out here. I got to remember that. So, but that's what I mean. They have a great, oh, here we go. All right. We're having a job fair on site, May 18th and 19th. There you go. And I'll even post that on there, Chris, for you to push it out there. Now, with social media right now, if you were to go into Ads Manager, if you went to your marketing department and said, who handles the Ads Manager ads for our job fair right now? Because if I was having a job fair that far in advance, I would have one of the best ads that you can imagine. I'd spend about $25 a day. That's it. You won't even spend that much on Ads Manager for a job fair. It's one click, and you really put a great image, and you put the times, and then you boost the living hell out of it. Right there, man. 25-mile radius, boost that thing right there, and you're going to see people hit that. You're going to people with questions. It's not going to be on your website or on your social media page. It's going to run behind the scenes, and it's going to tag. You're going to want to hit Easton, Albertus, even though there's some people up in Albertus, but you got to pull those from there. But for somebody to go to Brenningsville, you could hit Easton, you could hit Phillipsburg, because that's a high pay rate, and it's only like 35-minute ride from Phillipsburg to make 23 or 30 something for a mechanic. Do you know what I'm saying there? That's where you really want to hit that. And I was thinking today when we went to, Texas Roadhouse, it was crazy packed. And we had a great waiter. His name was Brandon. They were working hard, and it was packed. And he told me before I even said anything, I said, wow, you guys must be crazy. He goes, oh, I said, we're so short-staffed. The cooks back there are going crazy. And I call them kids, but they were working hard. But he told me they were short-staffed. How many, probably 18, 19 years old, tells a person while you're eating dinner that you're short-staffed? That just tells you right there. So when I looked at candidates coming from college into the hospitality, graduating high school, or on summer break, to attract them to a logistics center versus the hospitality industries, you know, like your Dorney Parks and, you know, raceways, all different kind of events, that's going to be a hard sell, because the millennials, younger millennials, they're not going to want to work 40 to 50 hours a week and on weekends. They're on school breaks. So you can tap into that industry, and there might be some that you might be able to grab and call up to schools, email them, talk to some of the trade schools, some of the colleges. You got nothing to lose. Like Chris, I know Penn State is right over there, the university there. I mean, grab candidates right out of there. Send your information to the schools and all your nonprofit agencies, and they have people that are willing to work. But you know, that's just something you got to figure out, because again, to get the hospitality, there's stores and everything even around us, like a Wawa, that closes down on night shift. McDonald's, they are not going to open up. They're only going to keep the drive-through. That's freaking insane. You cannot even fill McDonald's, Burger King, all of them, Walmart, even the stores. In our area, there's nobody even in the stores hardly. You can't ask anybody, even over at Lowe's. I love Lowe's and Home Depot. You go in there, you're lucky if you see, you know, staff to even ask a question. So these are the kind of things, you know, that I try to figure out of why. What are you going to do? And I get back to saying, just treat them like gold. What you have, you're not going to get that many more, you know, unless some of the staffing companies break that friggin' circle. If you're in staffing agency within Lehigh Valley and you got those same candidates, I've been there and done it over and over, coming in, well, they've called off, you let them go 6 weeks ago. Now you're going to place them in another company. They're going to call off there. This is where you need to, don't take them anymore. Do not take these candidates that have absenteeism issues. They're going to blow it up, you know, right in front of you, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize." They're going to give you every friggin' excuse in the book. Get rid of them. Tell them to go down the street to the other staffing company. When you come back with 6 months of work, maybe we'll talk then. But you can see these people are just being sent everywhere. It doesn't matter. In some of these ads, you can just say, "Come down, start tomorrow." And it makes no sense to do that. I get why the staffing companies are doing it. I really do. I feel sorry for them, because if their marketing department, listen, marketing doesn't know much for marketing within social media. I get blowback from this all the time. I don't care. They don't, because they don't know what ads managers are. Ads manager, if you're in a recruiter's role, you are a recruiter for any business. It doesn't matter in staffing. You need to have access as an admin on your page for your site. You can do that. Oh, I'm going to talk about that definitely right now, Chris, right after Steve. But you should be an editor or an admin, and the recruiters below you should be an editor. That means they can't change anything. So freaking marketing comes back to you and says, "Oh, we can't do that because they're going to change it." No. An admin is the only one that can make changes to the page. So when I was with my former company, I was an admin. So was one of the other recruiters, the senior recruiter. Your recruiters below you then were editors. They could only post jobs. You could go in there and make any change you want. So when marketing tells you, "No, we don't utilize ads manager," tell them that's because they don't know how to do it. They don't want to take the time, because every time you say something to go to corporate, now I'm going to get worked up because they say corporate says no. You don't know what corporate's going to say. Within 30 seconds, we used to come up with some ideas, and the manager would be, "Oh, no, corporate won't allow that." Oh, get the hell out of here. Corporate will allow. You're just afraid to ask sometimes. If corporate's not telling you what to do, if they're not giving you these tools, if they're not saying to run your job fairs, right, for a long period of time, a week before, put $150 down on it, you're set. You know, they're not giving you the tools. I'm just going to say it like that. Because if they're telling you you're short staffed, what are you doing about it? It's just like Steve, and this brings to a good point. Get this. So Steve over in Utah, he had 25 to 30 or up to 60, I think it was, candidates ready to go, forklift drivers, experience, all different industries. But they wanted to make $18 to $20 an hour. That was what they wanted. So he skill marketed them. So what he did was he opened the floodgates up, and he blasted out there on social media and companies saying, "Listen, we have, let's just say 60 candidates. They want 18 to 20 and above. Let's talk. And it worked. Why wouldn't it? What's it costing you now not having the candidates? But that was a smart move. What Steve did there, when he told me, I was like, that's genius, because if you can just pull them in as a pool, get yourself a pool of candidates in the staffing, and then just put it out there. And that's what they did, and they were very successful. And even where Steve was, they've even bussed people in and put them in overnight per diem from another state. They're bringing candidates in, and that it gets to you. So the recruiting, listen, the weekends, I don't want to be doing this on a Saturday night, but it's a great COVID era here. But Saturdays and Sundays are one of your best days to recruit anymore. I'm telling you, on a Sunday from about 4 o'clock to 9 p.m., that is where you're going to find your candidates. You could find them. And I've told people before, if corporate says no, just tell corporate they don't know what they're doing, or their marketing department. Then ask them, how do they fix it? Ask marketing. Ask your VP. What do we need to do? What do we need to do to be successful? Right? So, hey, Bill. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. I've been doing shows during the day and then sometimes at night, and I'm going to try to get back. I'm trying to find a co-host for a night show, but Bill's over in Pittsburgh, and anybody wants to reach out to him. And, like Steve said, thanks, man. And he was very successful at skill marketing them. When you have a group, again, priceless. They had a job fair today. They only had 2 hires. All right. But it was all over social media. So the name is there of Elwood. I don't care. I can say Elwood. They're a good company. So if your name is out there and staffing constantly, regardless if you get the candidates or not, because then your clients are going to be really, really happy that you're showing them what to do, that you're doing. I'm sorry. And that goes a long way, because if they see you doing staffing on weekends, on Sundays, food trucks, all kinds of ideas, then there's really not much more, because everybody knows the staff is hard to find. There's nothing you're going to do. When this other one's opened up, and even in Brenningsville, and when these 2 open up around Easton and Nike, and this other company, it's a 1.4 million, it's going to open up soon. I'll tell you what, that's 800 jobs. They're coming from somewhere. They're going to leave. See, that's the thing about what happens is all the new companies. Now, besides if you're utilizing staffing company, when, let's just say I'm working at, let's just say Coca-Cola and Pepsi, I like using. All right, Coca-Cola, right? I'm working there. I'm okay. I'm making some money. But now Nike, did you hear Nike's opening up only right down the street? They're paying almost or a little bit more, because those companies are going to be smart. They're the ones that are going to come in right now at a good time, because they're going to blast the living hell out of it. Right? So you're going to leave that company to go to the new one. They're not going to have a problem finding staff, because they're just going to take the staff from all the other companies that the candidates are not happy. And that's what's going to happen. Who wouldn't work at Nike? See, that's what I mean. Nike. Just like Chris with Nestle Waters, but it's now called Blue Triton Brands. It's going to take me a little while to say that. But they're, again, top brand names. You got to get your name out there. And I want to hit it on this one subject is when you're talking, listen, when you have a staffing company working for you, let's just say like a couple good companies in Easton, Crayola, iHerb, all these companies, MCS, FedEx, Walmart's, McKesson, they're all over the place. Let the staffing companies say your name. Let them put their name in your ad. We're hiring for iHerb. People are like, what the hell's iHerb? See, now you Google it. Wow, iHerb, I didn't ever heard of them. We have great pay, temp to perm right off the bat. They're hiring. See, a lot of the companies are hiring direct. That's where you want to be smart. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you see a company, Google them, you can get hired direct on right from their site. You don't have to go to a staffing company. Some of them do. Some of them utilize them because they have to, because they'll find a candidate. But if the corporation can find them on their own, they're going to go, and that's a good way to find a job. But think about it. If you let the staffing companies, and I hear it all the time, we were successful utilizing that model. Nobody gave us besides one company, and I didn't care for them anyway. But we were able to say it because we just did it. I told the recruiters, let's just put their names, right? Tesla, yep. Why not Tesla, right? That was great. When you say you want to work at Tesla, everybody's like, there's a Tesla in Bethlehem? You know, what do you think will happen if the minimum wage is increased? What type of effect will it have on the other jobs? It's going to have it right over here, Bill, now, because they're getting into that $15 an hour range. Think about it. Before, everybody was saying minimum wage needs to be raised to $15 an hour, right? You've heard it for a long time. We've all said that. With COVID being said, don't worry about COVID anymore. That's gone. That's in the past. You got to focus on right now. And when this minimum wage gets increased, you're still going to be at a $13. I believe it's going to be like around $13 as a living wage that they're going to consider. So what's going to happen is they're still like your hospitality jobs, everything like that. They're going to be starting off at 13 to 15. It's not going to matter. The ones that are going to suffer right now are paying $8 and $9 an hour. I don't know what's going to happen with them, because if they can't fill, then I want to say this, but who can afford? I know they're saying who can afford to make $8 to $9 an hour, but those jobs that were making minimum wage and above were back in the day, as we said, that was always your college jobs. That was your high school jobs. And you would go there and work. And that was it. You know, you work part-time. You didn't have to work full-time during the summer. But now it's impossible to do that. It's just totally impossible. So what's going to happen here is you're going to see a lot more close downs. Bill, just McDonald's, Wawa's closing down on night shift. McDonald's hasn't even opened up their doors, just the drive-throughs. All your Chick-fil-A, all of those companies in Phillipsburg already, they don't even offer in-house. They're open, but they can't fill it. They're going to be, you realize when McDonald's starts paying $15 an hour, what it's going to cost to go. I'm going to constantly use McDonald's, but what's it going to cost for a family to eat there? It's insane, because not everybody's going to go to work at logistics, but logistics where it's at in the Lehigh Valley area around here in Bucks, that's all there is. Logistics and manufacturing now. So you got that coming in. You got a couple companies over in Easton, Pennsylvania that they're struggling right now. And they were paying 13, 14. Now they're up to 16, 17. I don't know when it's going to friggin' stop, because there's one company in Easton that pays $25 an hour for a night shift. They cannot sustain $25 an hour. How the hell are you going to sustain that in the staffing industry, even as a company? On your P&Ls right now, you didn't, whether it's a staffing company or the corporations didn't say, because they're pushing back saying, well, we can't afford this. The staffing agencies are coming back and say, well, we can't afford it either. The staffing companies don't make as much money as people think they do. And I'm just being straight honest with you. If you're not at a 44, 45% markup, you're not really making that much at all. You know, and we see that in the restaurants in Pittsburgh. Bill, excuse me. I just said that prior. We went out to Texas Roadhouse, and that young man, he was working his butt off, and all the younger ones, millennials, working. He said to me that they didn't have enough staff. The cooks were back there going crazy. It was packed, but they can't serve. You're going to wait longer. And what they deserve, they're the ones right now that deserve a higher rate. But us, everybody's gotten to this thing of stating, well, we got to pay more. Well, we got to pay more if we're going to win. It's got to stop sooner or later. It cannot subside over $25 an hour. There is no way in logistics that any company out there is going to pay a temporary staffing agency $25 for a long term. You might as well throw the hell staffing companies out. You might as well just get rid of them. Why utilize them and just hire on some other recruiters in-house, because you're going to be spending that freaking amount of money anyway. Here, I'm telling you that, and I'm in staffing. But I get irritated at that, Bill, and you can tell is because I don't know what is going to happen. That's why I was looking at a lot of the companies tonight. I don't know. Besides recruiting 7 days a week, I know people don't want to hear that, but there's ways to do it. 7 days a week, you can find a lot of people on the weekends. I've said it before. If corporate says no, tell them you tell us what to do then, because some recruiters, you know, they have a hard time working with the children, with everybody, right? We all know that. Single parents and trying to rotate, you know, who's going to babysit. Some of them recruiters would give up time, just say, hey, work a half day or take off on a Wednesday, but answer messages on social media over the weekend. Make the deal. It's a no-brainer. You're going to pick up people on the weekends. It's common sense. After 5 o'clock, people are off. There's going to be, I was doing a study I was reading. They said 45% of people right now that are employed, are going to be looking to exit the companies that they're working now. I can't believe it's at 45%, but there was 2 of them that I read about that they're going to be looking for jobs because they're working so much right now that they're getting burned out that they want to leave. And it makes sense, you know. Here's Will. Sorry, just joining late. We are hiring signs on every type of businesses now. That's what I mean. Bill, you can go right down here through Hellertown, Easton, every single place. It's just there, help wanted, help wanted, help wanted. You know, and when it comes down to cost, you're going to pay. There's nothing else you're going to do right now. You're not going to increase your staff. There's no way. There's no way that the companies, I'm going to say it again, can afford it. And everything's going to have to stop at a certain rate and just balance out. It's got to stop when the stimulus is end and when people get off unemployment. You know, everybody says, okay, well, that's the reason. Well, don't worry about the friggin' reason, trying to fix it. Figure the reason, try to fix it. Don't just complain about it. If you're going to sit here and whine and complain about, well, I can't find staff. Well, tell your recruiters to work at nighttime. Hire a night shift person. Hire a recruiter on second shift. Oh, we can't do that. We can't afford it. Sure, you can't afford it, but you can't afford it without it. You know, pay somebody on the weekends to do that, and part-time recruiters on the weekends. The ROI is going to be there. It's going to be there if they get 5 to 10 people over the weekend. That is your best time. I'm going to say that again on there. So 7 days a week, nonstop, and get your names out there. Allow the staffing companies to say your name, and they might want to work for you. Because I know with Chris, Nestle Waters, now they're called, Blue Triton Brands. I'm going to get that. So, but they're a well-known name. So by saying Nestle Waters and the new name, people didn't know that, and they might have heard this now and be like, wow. See? So they got to go through all the advertising and all that again because, you know, it's a strong name. Now you got to promote this. So they're the kind of things that just irritate you about the social media ads. Nobody puts any time and thought into some of them. If I was a VP, a regional director, right, in your staffing, and if you were to look at some of the jobs that people are posting, you would be like, why am I paying this kind of money for these type of ads? Seriously, I'd be like, that's how they're promoting us. But on the other end, to put up for the staffing company is I would be right after them saying, well, you don't allow us to say your name. We can't put your image, which there's nothing wrong. Think about it. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, great discussion tonight. Thanks, Steve. And they're the kind of things that just, you got to put your name out there. You got to let the companies, if you learned anything from what I said tonight, get the companies, your VPs and above, let the staffing companies say your name, and it's going to really help you. So on that note, I think, wow, I like the job fair 7 days a week. We talked about that. Boost those ads. Boost those ads. You know, I put like $50 to $100 sometimes for a week. Learn it from Ads Manager. Talk to your VP or marketing department. Make me an admin. Just tell them that on Monday. Make me an admin Monday. That sounds pretty good. Make me an admin Monday. And I'm telling you, Chris, if you get on there as the admin, that's where people like ourselves and even Steven's very knowledgeable in social media, is you hire an expert. You hire an expert that knows what to do. It makes sense because I don't know like engineering. Why do I? But I'm a specialized in social media. So when I see things that can be done on the page, if I get into somebody's page, I know right what to do, right where to go. Right now I'm in Facebook jail. We'll talk about that another day. But I know right where to go in there, change all your settings. And a lot of the people don't even know that one setting can really screw you up. Just one setting. Boom. So on that, I think I've talked myself out. So Bill, thanks. You know, Steve and Chris, again, shout out for Chris Heckman. It was Nestle Waters, but they now are called Blue Triton Brands. So remember that. Blue Triton Brands is now Nestle Waters in Brenningsville, Pennsylvania, and all around. So one more time, Blue Triton Brands is Nestle Waters. Everybody have a great night, and we'll be back on Sunday. And I always like to end it with this. See you soon.